In this Blender tutorial, you are going to see about the hard surface modeling. If you are a beginner, definitely you can easily understand. I'm gonna delete my default object, then change the lightning to matcap, because if the lightning is in matcap, then we can easily find there is any normal issues in the faces. Now press 1 in numpad, then shift A, mesh, circle. In the pop-up menu, change the align to view. If we do that, then our object will face based on our perspective view. Then in edit mode, E to extrude, right click to place it there, then press S to scale it, then press Ctrl R and 4 in numpad to add 4 loop cuts, then select these faces here. After selecting these faces, press I to insert it, then make sure that you enable the loop tools add-on. The loop tools add-on is so much helpful while you are doing 3D modeling. After that, by selecting these faces, right click, we have a loop tools option and click the circle. It will change into circle shape. You can clearly see. Then slightly reduce the scale and GZ to move it down. Now delete those faces. After that, select these edges and my cursor in the center. By selecting these edges, press Alt E, spin, and then enable the use duplicates, and I'm going to reduce my steps to 6. The spin option is nothing but the selection edges is duplicated in a circular way based on the perspective view, and it will take the cursor as the center. For example, if you see, my cursor is here, and by selecting these edges, Alt E, spin. Like I said, it will take the cursor as the center, and once again I'm going to press Alt T, spin in this perspective view. See, it is take the perspective view also, like I said. So the cursor and the perspective view is so much important whenever you are gonna use the spin option. So my cursor in the center, and I selected these edges, Alt T, spin, enable use duplicates, and the steps 6 will be fine. After that, whenever you are using the spin, you see we will have a duplicate. Delete those edges, or you can select everything M, merge by distance. It will remove the duplicate vertex. Now select this face, then by holding Ctrl Shift, select this face. It will select all the in between faces. After that, by holding Shift, select this face, and then hold Ctrl Shift and select this face. See, likewise, hold Shift and select this face, then hold Ctrl and Shift, select this face. So likewise, select these faces I am selecting. After that, delete those faces. Now if you see, these circle or loose spots, if you can clearly see these and these edges, it is not connected, right? So that means it is a loose spot. So place your mouse over here, press L to select this loose spot, and once again place your mouse over here and press L. So you can easily select the loose spots like this. After selecting these two loose spot circle, GZ to move it down slightly. Then likewise select these two circle, GZ to move it up slightly. After that, by holding Alt and Shift, select these two vertex, Ctrl E, bridge edge loops to bridge it. So likewise select all these circle and these vertex, bridge it. This one, and finally this one. That's all. Now select these edges here, then press E and extrude in Y axis like this. You can clearly see we are facing some black shading in our faces, right? So if I am in studio lighting, you can clearly see we don't have any black shading, but in matcap we have it. That means the normal is not properly faced. So we have to recalculate. For that, select everything. You can press Alt N, Alt N. See, recalculate outside. It will recalculate normals outside. The shortcut key is Shift N. Now press Shift N. That's all. See, now we have it. Now it looks fine. Then go to select and select sharp edges. It will select all the sharp edges in our object like this. By selecting these sharp edges, Ctrl B to slightly bevel. You can clearly see our bevel is not working properly. It doesn't have a same size. If you disable the loop slide, it looks fine. Then increase the segments and shape to 1. Then press Ctrl 3 to add a subdivision modifier of level 3. If you press Ctrl 2, it will add a subdivision modifier of level 2. Select these faces, press I slightly to insert it. Then I'm going to click this option. It will disable the subdivision modifier for viewport. Then press Shift H. It will hide all the unselected faces. So we can work only in our selected faces. Now select these two faces. I to insert it, then E to extrude it. Now select these two edges, then G Z to bring it down. After that, select these sharp edges here and press Ctrl B to slightly bevel it. Then in in face selection, press Ctrl plus to increase the selection, then press Ctrl I to invert the selection and then delete those faces. If you see, we have deleted the faces but we still have our vertex. That is because now press Alt H to unhide all the hidden hidden faces. You can clearly see this face is not a separate, this vertex is not a separate vertex. It is connected to this vertex, so that means it is an edge. So that's why this vertex it doesn't deleted. Then go to front view by pressing 1 in numpad. Now select everything, press Alt E, spin, enable use duplicates, and the steps 16 will be perfect number. You can adjust and find which number is suitable for you. Now for me 16 is the best number. Then select everything, M, merge by distance, the duplicate vertex are deleted. That's all. Now I'm going to add, I think, Control R, then 15 in numpad to add 15 loop cuts. Then press Alt H to unhide the faces. Now I'm going to enable it. It looks fine. Then again I'm going to disable it. Then select these edges, right click to place it there. Then yes to scale it. Then again extrude in Y axis. Then scale it like this, then slightly extrude in Y axis. Now select these two sharp edges, Ctrl B to slightly bevel, then add one loop cut. Now by holding Alt, select these faces, press I to insert it. After that, select these two faces by holding Alt and Shift. Now press I to insert it. Now press Alt T, extrude face along normals. It will extrude those faces along the normals. So you can just move your mouse to extrude inwards or outwards. That's all. I'm going to extrude it inwards slightly. Then again insert it. Then again Alt T, extrude face along normals. Again extrude in inwards. Then go to select loops, select boundary loops. It will select all the boundary loops of our selected faces. Now select these sharp edges here, and here, and finally here. I have selected all the sharp edges. Now press Ctrl B to give a slightly bevel. Now select these faces, press Shift H. Now select these two faces, I to insert it, then E to extrude it inwards. Then go to select loop tools, select boundary loops. Now select these edges, Ctrl B to bevel. Then in face select, press Ctrl plus to increase the selection. You guys will have an idea why I am going to face select while I am increase the selection, right? You can increase the selection when you are in the edge selection also. I am doing this because if you see, I have selected these faces and I am in edge selection. Press Ctrl I. Then I can't just simply delete the faces. See, now I still have these faces. So that's why I'm going into face selection. Then press Ctrl I to invert selection and delete those faces. One for front view, select everything, Alt E, then press the spin option, enable use duplicates, steps 16 will be fine. Now select everything, M, merge by distance. Then I think I'm going to add a 12 loop cuts will be fine, Alt H. Now I will check it is fine or not. Yeah, it looks fine. Then select these faces here, then Shift H, and then select these four faces, insert it, extrude it, again insert it, again extrude it, then go to select loops, select boundary loops. Now select these sharp edges, press Ctrl B to bevel, then Ctrl plus to increase the selection. In face select, invert the selection, delete those faces, go to front view. Now select everything, Alt E, spin, enable use duplicates, and then steps 16 is not good, so reduce it up to 8. Then select everything, M, merge by distance. After that, by selecting all these faces, Shift D and move it in Y axis like this. Then select these two edges here by holding Alt and Shift, Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. Now I'm going to separate these faces. Press P, click selection to separate it. I have separated this as a separate object. The reason behind is because I'm going to use proportional editing and have a slightly rotation. So if this is connected with this geometry, this object, then it will affect these vertex also. So that's why I have separated it as a separate object. Okay, now by selecting this, going into edit mode, select everything. I'm going to reduce the size slightly in Y axis. Then enable the proportional editing, and the shortcut keys for proportional editing is O. Then in this option, enable the connected only. Now Select a single face, insert it, extrude it, then select this sharp edge, Ctrl B to bevel, then press Ctrl plus to increase the selection. In face select, invert the selection, delete those faces. In front view, select everything, Alt E, pin, then enable use duplicates and then increase the steps to 32. Now likewise, select everything, merge by distance. That's all. Now in edge selection, select these edges. Now if you press G or R, you can clearly see we have a circle, right? So it is nothing but based on the circle size, it will select all those connected faces. You can clearly see. Now I'm going to press R and Y. If I increase the selection, if I scroll my mouse to increase my circle size, you can clearly see based on the circle, it will take all those connected edges or vertex. So now in this view, I'm going to press RY and I'm going to give it a slightly rotation. I think, yeah, this looks fine. That's all. Now select these two objects, press Ctrl J to connect it as a single object. Now select this edge, and then Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. Likewise, select this and this, Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. In top view, go to wireframe mode. Now select these vertex here and then GY. Oh, sorry, I'm going to disable my proportional editing because I don't need that. GY to move it inside. Then select these, GY to stretch it slightly. Then I'm going to select these and GY to bring it before. Then I think I'm going to add a 20 loop cuts here. Now we can see with subdivision modifier how it looks. Yeah, it looks total fine. Okay, then now select these edges, then shift D to duplicate, right click to place it there. I'm going to duplicate this as a separate object. So press P, click selection to separate it. Now select this separate object, go into edit mode, then select everything. Now right click, subdivide, once again right click, subdivide. Now if you see the circle is not in a perfect circle shape, so for that by selecting these vertex, right click, loop tools, circle. Now just extrude it, right click to place it there, then press S to scale it. I think, yeah, this much is enough. Then select a single face, insert it slightly and then extrude it. Then in edge selection, select this C edge, press Ctrl B to bevel. Now in face selection, Ctrl plus to increase the selection, then Ctrl I, invert selection. Now delete those faces, go to front view, select everything, Alt T, spin. Now enable use duplicates. After that, I think 64, no, 128 will be the best value. Then select everything, merge by distance. That's all. After that, select everything, then slightly not extrude and increase it slightly. Then extrude in Y axis like this. Now select these edges, press Ctrl B to give it a slightly bevel. Now select these faces, Shift H. Then I think 4 loop cuts will be good. Yeah. Then select these 4 faces, I to insert it, right click, loop tool, circle, slightly reduce the size. After that, extrude it. Then go to select loop, select boundary loops to select those selected faces boundary loops. Then by holding Alt and Shift, select these edges. Press Ctrl B to slightly bevel. Then I'm going to add 4 loop cuts. Then press Ctrl plus to increase the selection. And then select these 2 faces here also. Yeah, and here also. Then press Ctrl I, X and delete those faces. Now select everything in front view, Alt T, spin. Then enable use duplicates. I'm going to reduce my steps to 64. Yeah, 64 will be fine. Now select everything, M, and then merge by distance. Now what I'm going to do, now select everything, then enable the auto merge vertex option. It is nothing but if any vertex, if any both vertex are nearby, it will automatically connect it. Now I have enabled it. Now press Shift D and then Y to duplicate in Y axis. Now place this both vertex nearby like this. See, that's all. Now our both vertex is combined into one because of the auto merge vertex option is enabled. Then after that, press Shift or to repeat the action like this. See, I think that's all. This is enough. Then select these vertex, extrude it, scale it inside, then again extrude it and in Y axis, then again extrude and scale it finally, Ctrl F, grid fill. Now select these and these edges, Ctrl B to bevel. Now add one loop cut here, add two loop cut here and add one loop cut here. Now select those edges, then Ctrl B to bevel. Reduce the segments to 1, Alt E, extrude face along normals, then go to select loops, select boundary loops, then select these edges here. Now press Ctrl B to slightly bevel, then I have added one loop cut here. I think I'm going to add a one loop cut here, 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 and here to have equal geometry. Whenever you started your hot surface modeling, remember one thing, you should have a equal geometry. Okay, now I'm going to change my matte cap to this one, because you can clearly see it is shiny, right? So with this matte cap we can easily find if we have any shading issue or not. So whenever I finish to my modeling, I will do this and right click shade smooth, right click shade smooth. So I can find if I have any shading issue or not. I think I'm going to add a 12 loop cuts. Yeah, I think I don't have any shading issues. If I have anything, I can easily find it. So I think I don't have any shading issue. That's all. I hope this video helps you to learn something new about hot surface modeling. Don't think this object is so easy, okay? So I thought I should model a complex object, but before that, I have an idea. I should start with the easy object. So if any of you are beginners, so you can easily understand and keep up with me. So that's why I started with a small object. Okay, so in upcoming videos you will see more hot surface modeling. And if you like this video and if you think it helps you, don't forget to like it. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe it to learn more about Blender.